Hello, this is Jim. I live in Texas and I'm in my garage right now, and I'm fixing to install some MC Enterprises side bag guards for my 2008 Yamaha FJR. The reason I'm getting them is because I'm short. I'm always paranoid about dropping my bike, and I've dropped it twice. Once on the very first ride, the first time I stopped at a gas pump when I bought it 3 years ago, and then trying to do a U-turn on a country road a couple of years ago. So I did have a little a little incident on the road, which resulted in Geico replacing pretty much all of the plastic on this bike. I've covered that in a prior thing. In particular, Geico bought me two new, pretty beautiful factory new side bags. These cost over $500 each, so I want to protect them. So I saw on, I think it was FJRriders.com, I saw a note about these things. They fit roughly like this somewhere on the bike, so that when you drop your bike, they take at least some of the impact away from your beautiful Yamaha side bags, which are great side bags, but unlike the aluminum ones like on an adventure bike, these are relatively soft plastic, so they scratch real easily. So anyway, I'm going to install these. The instructions are pretty 6 steps to do it. A little bit of hardware, 2 brackets. Basically, it involves removing the muffler clamp and the passenger peg, and somehow it'll bolt in there, and I'll put it back together. So, show you a couple updates as I go along, and we'll look at the final product. The process of installing this is you remove the foot peg, and you want to be careful. You want to take a close notice exactly how the pieces that are in here are arranged. There's a little surprise waiting for you in there. I'll show you in a minute. But take a good look at how the pieces in here are arranged. There's a couple of them in there. Then the instruction says remove the upper muffler bracket rear bolt, which I believe they mean is this one. It looks like a 6mm hex key will do that. So I'll do that now, and then we'll put the actual crash guard. Okay, here's an important safety tip. When you remove the passenger foot peg, there is a little ball bearing that goes in that hole there. That's kind of a spring-loaded thing to hold the foot peg up or down. If you let this little ball fall out as you're removing it, it will roll a long way from your motorcycle, and you will spend some time trying to track that down. If you lose it entirely, I think suicide is the only option. So be real careful when you remove this foot peg to keep track of that ball and don't let it get away. Important safety tip brought to you by Jim. Now we can see how this thing is going to go on here. The lower part of it will be held on the passenger foot peg. The upper part, there's some spacers I think that it comes with, and so we can get a good view of that. There we go, yeah. And then the upper part will be held on this muffler bracket here. There's some spacers that will be about like that. So let's go ahead and try to put this on. Okay, here's what the finished product looks like. When it's installed. I'll put the bag on in a minute. I will note that it does prevent the foot peg from folding up all the way. And I would say that if you frequently ride with a passenger, you might want to stop by my house and have your passenger fit check this. I'm not sure, how, depending on the length of your passenger's leg and everything, and where this bar is in relation to the foot peg, whether there might be an issue, whether you might have to do some kind of bracket to bring this down a little bit. I'm just not sure. I never ride with passengers. I never carry passengers, so it's not an issue with me. So put the bags on. We'll see how it looks. I have a tip about the bags also that I want to mention. Completed side bag assembly with the MC Enterprises law enforcement rear crash bars. They do make some crash bars that go in this area of the bike here, that instead of just a frame slider like I've got, they actually find kind of a loop up here to protect more of this plastic. I may get one of those eventually. Right now, I know from experience that if you drop it with this thing on here, it'll scrape this side up. If you're assuming we're a low-speed drop, it'll scrape this side here up, and that's not the end of the world, but this will keep you know, this part and this part and this part from getting destroyed, or at least at a low speed drop. A high speed drop, all bets are off. Yamaha FJRs, I'm not sure if they'll fit on the Generation 1 or Generation 3, but the Gen 2s, which are 2006 through 2012, I think these are a good deal. If you carry a passenger, you might want to fit check one. If you're in Austin, you can bring your passenger over to me and put her on the back, and we'll see how she likes it. I'm not sure how this is going to interfere with the passenger's leg or not, but I don't care because I don't carry passengers. FJR riders, concerning your bags. Your bags are basically held on by, well, excuse me, your lock mechanism is held on by these two little bolts that are on the handle of your side bag. They require a special star-shaped head to tighten them up. The factory is supposed to put Loctite on those. Sometimes they don't. You need to be sure these are tight. Every now and then, probably at least every oil change at a minimum, you need to tighten these puppies up, because if both of these fall out, your bag will jump off your bike the next time you hit a bump. So, important safety tip: check these side bag lock bolts. Be sure to get, and I forget the number of it, be sure to get a star-shaped security screwdriver of the right size so you don't strip them out. Make sure they're tight, or if you're really ambitious, you can take them out and put Loctite on them. But if these come out, you're in a world of hurt. You'll be looking up and down the road for where your bag fell off.